Incredibly moving experience, yeah.
It's just a sort of shared experience, you know, you don't often have. Emotional and mesmerising.
It's like a raga, you know, like an Indian raga when you sit down and you listen and you're surrounded by people and sound.
Yeah, I was really moved by it actually. I thought it was fantastic.
I think ethically it's really beautiful and I think it touches people.
And you feel like quite fortunate, but also like you feel quite empathetic to other people. But yeah.
It's about the atmosphere inside, I guess, because everyone feeling the love.
It was in 1971 that a friend was making a film about people living rough around here, around Waterloo, under the arches at Waterloo. I mean, they weren't as developed as they are now, and Elephant and Castle. And he was making a film about the experience of these people living on the streets and so on. And I wasn't involved with making the film, but I did help him with some sound things afterwards. And then he gave me all the tapes which were being discarded, and that's where ultimately this fragment of song came from. It was in the middle of one of these tapes, and I was massively touched by it. For me, there's a smile on his face when he's singing. He doesn't sound down or bitter. Yeah. He's singing Jesus' blood never failed me yet, but in a way, one could say, if Jesus ever failed anyone, it was that poor old guy. There he was on the streets, he'd been let down in some ways, but he didn't think so, and he was upbeat. And I think he's a kind of a great kind of moral lesson in many ways, you know. When you're down, it's not the end, and he certainly didn't think so. There are people of different abilities. You obviously have the very skilled players from the Southbank Sinfonia and the Academy of St Martin in the Fields. Then there are homeless people singing, the people playing percussion instruments and all kinds of things who are contributing, and that's part of it. It's massively moving to hear these guys just roaring out this sound. It's fantastic.
The musicians that we work with who are service users, there's a real range of ability there as well, actually. So we've got people that have sung in choirs before, we've got people who grew up playing instruments and then maybe sort of left it for a few years. There's a real element for lots of people that come and work with us, sort of rekindling stuff that's already there, and this kind of latent knowledge or sort of tacit knowledge that just sort of gets reignited and comes back into play. And there are people that maybe haven't engaged much with music and decide that they were going to give it a go. And the point, I think, always with our projects is that there's got to be a space for everyone, and there is a space for everyone, and in this piece there's a space for everyone to be involved to the extent that they want to be.
These young musicians, they don't mind giving up their time to teach us how to play the instruments better, or teach us how to do things timing wise. They're taught to us, and they're taught to us like human beings. And I like that. You've got to talk to us like human beings when you're homeless. A lot of people can't be bothered to sort of walk past you sort of thing. They don't do that. They treat you like you are a human being.
I think for me personally, that's been the biggest benefit of this project, really, is meeting people who accept us as individuals who we are. I think so. Yeah. And learning a bit about playing music in a company as well. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah.
people that come together to do this create quite strong experiences that stay with people, and it's almost like putting money into the bank, or do you know what I mean, putting it into your pot of savings, that, you know, on a really rough day when you're feeling a bit rubbish about everything and a bit fed up, you can kind of look back on those good memories.
My view about anything I write is that once it leaves my hands and goes out to the performer, it's their music, it's not mine anymore. It has a new life because of them, and that's even more the case with a piece like this.
I'm so happy, and look like we are coming to join in a big family together.
I felt nervous at the beginning, but I started to relax, and it was, oh my God, touching. And you think about the homeless people, because I was homeless myself. You think about homeless people who died while they were homeless, or who died because of the weather, hypothermia, or things like that. So it makes me really feel emotional.
I've been working with people from the centres, which has been like just a really great experience. They're all really lovely, brilliant, and they've done so well playing the percussion. So it's been really enjoyable, very rewarding.
With the orchestra behind it, it's so like hopeful and kind of get this like powerful feeling, and then when he's just singing on his own, it feels so like, I felt so sad and so like plaintive.
It was like really interesting, quite hypnotic and just beautiful. Like really enjoyed it. I didn't quite know what to expect, and it really it blew my mind. Like
I love the music, I love the purple, I love the atmosphere.
The people are responding in completely different ways. There's a guy on one side who is asleep and snoring. There's other people who are clearly in there for the long haul, and they've got blankets and sleeping bags and pillows and cushions and that sort of thing. There was one couple who looked like they were on a really charming date, and they had some nibbles out in front of them and something to drink. There was a lady I saw meditating as well. Traditionally in Britain, we would be like seated in an auditorium. It would all be very quite formal, and everyone would be very polite, and you sit still. And if I'd have been in that situation, I don't think I could have lasted maybe for as long as I did. But here, there's no seats at all. It's a very open space. And as I say, people are treating that space in different ways.
This feels like a sort of meditation, I guess, and incredibly beautiful and moving.
She walked in and was in tears.
It's been really interesting, like especially sleeping, waking up and hearing the changes in the music, and then I woke up like as it went silent.